Hello students and family members, welcome to Mr. Panza's math video where we will be adding and subtracting using place value, and we'll also be subtracting across zeros using place value. More specifically, we're going to use this right here, which are called touch points, and if you're not exactly sure what touch points are, check out the previous video as it discusses single as well as double touch points, how much they're worth, and how you can use them in addition and subtraction problems, including subtracting across zeros. Today, we're going to take a look at a worksheet that you can download right here at my website. Once you're at the website, you'll see this worksheet. I have my touch points for a reference, and I have my worksheet. You'll notice that the worksheet is a bit off track. You'll notice that these numbers don't line up, or they're not, as I like to call it, matchy-matchy. In order to avoid any type of issue that you would see, I'm going to do two problems. This one right here, as well as this one. And I'm going to show you how a simple piece of lined paper can solve an issue like this, because commonly students struggle writing numbers underneath the correct place values. Lined paper can take care of that. Let me show you how. And poof, just like that, I've completely fixed the problem I was having. In the problem you saw over here, my ones place value was not lined up with my other ones. In fact, this ones place value was lined up with the tens. And by simply placing those two numbers in this addition problem on lined paper, my ones are lined up with ones, tens lines up with tens, hundreds and hundreds, thousands and thousands, 10,000s, and 10,000s. Using lined paper is extremely helpful, and that's how you can recognize place value. The next step is actually using these touch points to help you solve a math equation like the one you see on the right. So if I have a problem like this, here's how you would use the touch points. I see 2 and 5. Now if you didn't know that 5 plus 2 is 7, I have a strategy that will help you add these two numbers every single time. I have two touch points on 2, right there and there. Again, I know that because I've memorized where these touch points are. You can use this as a reference just by creating the chart or using a chart. I would write it down in your organizer or somewhere that it won't get lost. 5 gets 5 touch points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the belly button's 5. And then I just count the touch points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. Move on to the tens place value column. In addition and subtraction, I always start with the lowest place value, the ones, because it's worth the least, which is totally opposite from comparing, where we would start with the highest. But let's not confuse you. Always start in addition and subtraction with the lowest place value, which means I move on to my tens. I have one touch point plus one touch point, 1, 2, I'm done. Double touch point, double touch point, double touch point, double touch point, 8 plus one more is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 touch points there. And 3 with nothing in the 10,000s place value means 3. So my final answer using touch points and the lined paper to add these two numbers gets me the final answer of 37,927. But what about subtracting across zeros? Like I had mentioned, back on this paper, this is a problem. First of all, it's not lined up. Second of all of these zeros can be a bit alarming. In fact, concerning. Let me show you how to fix it. And just like that, poof, I've solved my problem. First of all, I'm using the lines of the lined paper to set up the ones column with the ones, the tens with the tens, hundreds with the hundreds, thousands with the thousands, and 10,000s with the 10,000s, and now I'm ready to subtract. But oh no, I have a whole bunch of zeros, and I know that if there's more on the floor, I must borrow from my neighbor next door. I can't get 10 from you, or you, or you, but I can from you. So this 8 becomes a 7, which means this 0 is no longer 0, but it's actually 10, but I've got to get 10 all the way over here. So I'm going to borrow from this, make it a 9. Make this a 10, now it's a 9, because this is a 10. Borrow from this 10, which makes that a 9, which finally gives us a subtractable number, 10 minus 2. Where are my touch points? There and there. How did I know that? I have my reference, and then eventually I memorize there are the two touch points. They're both single touch points. So 10 minus 2, 9, 8, gives me my final answer in the ones. 9 minus 5, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. 9 minus 6, 9. 8, 7, 6543. 9 minus 2, 8, 7. And 7 minus my 4 single touch points, 6, 5, 4, and 3. My final answer of 37,348. I was able to do this by correcting any issues with place value using lined paper and using my touch points to my advantage. Once you have touch points, that eliminates the need to use your fingers. I hope this video helps.